Now, I've been dying to say this since we started filming. This was filmed for a live studio. Yes, I'm Shannon Honadle, and I wanted to say my burning desire was to stay cool, but I wasn't sure y'all would get it. Because literally stay cool. It's so hot right now. Today I'm talking about Windows 10. How many of you heard that it's coming out? It's July 29th. It is a free upgrade. I wanted to let it go to the next slide. This is a little quick view. It doesn't look that much different from Windows 7. What I wanted to mention was, everybody's asking me, should I upgrade, should I upgrade, should I upgrade? Even if Windows 10 was perfect, and I have a feeling it's not going to be, I would recommend that you wait. And I'm going to get into it in a few minutes, but wait. It's not going to hurt anything to wait to reserve your copy or to wait to upgrade. There's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be problems when they first unroll this, and it doesn't hurt to just see how it all falls into place. Is it really free? Yes, it is. It's free for Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 users. It's available July 29th, and again, should I reserve my copy? How it happens, how it works. How many of you have seen a little icon in your sys tray? That's what that's called by the clock. Any of you seen a little icon that has a little Windows logo? It looks just like that up there. If you click on it, it's going to give you an option to reserve it. What happens when you reserve the copy? Well, the day of July 29th, it'll go ahead and download the operating system. It's about 3 gigabytes. And then it'll ask you, it does give you the chance of when to schedule it. And presumably, you'll be able to back out of that if you decide you change your mind. The important thing about doing the upgrade is I want to talk about the compatibility check. This is the thing that's getting everybody nervous. The compatibility check is looking at your currently installed programs to see if they're going to work on Windows 10. In this particular case, you can hardly see it, it's kind of washed out on this screen. This particular example shows that Norton Internet Security is not going to work with it. And then below it, it says these apps will need to be reinstalled after the upgrade. See, it breaks it down. It does a really good job of looking to see what you have, and so far for the people that have tested it, that has worked really well. It has been very clear about what to expect when the upgrade happens, and these are the programs that are going to come and go. Frequently asked questions, is it free forever? No, you have a year to upgrade, but a year is a long time, and my guess is Microsoft may very well extend that. How many PCs are eligible? It's not one per household or one per business. It's every computer that is running Windows 7 and Windows 8.1. So if you've got an extra computer in the house and you want to give it a try, you certainly can. And then you can wait on the others. There's no time limit on this. Well, there's a time limit, but there's no caveat on choosing to do it now or waiting. Will it run on my system? Right now, Microsoft's formal statement is your computer can run Windows 7. If your computer can run Windows 7 or 8.1, it can run 10. And how long will it take? Microsoft says 20 minutes to an hour. So let's double that. Okay, let's just go ahead and double that. Right? Yeah. Purchasing 10, I'm going to skip that. Thing I want to point out is what is uninstalled. Now this is the thing that's going around. There's rumors and all kinds of talk about it taking programs off your computer. Well, Media Center is gone. That is gone. That is no longer supported by Microsoft. They said it wasn't used anymore. And the big problem with that is, how are you going to play DVDs if you put them on your computer? Well, you'll have to use another program to do it. Internet Explorer is gone. Now, I actually reviewed this, but it can't be truly gone. There's a lot of websites, and there are some programs that are considered legacy, and they still require Internet Explorer. So technically, it's still there, but for your average user, you won't see it. They'll have a new browser to replace it. I believe it's called Spartan. This is really important. Solitaire, Minesweeper, and Hearts will be uninstalled. Let's just all, take a moment. But actually, they're still available. There are Windows 10 versions of these programs, and they are free in the Windows Store. So if these are games that you enjoy playing, they kind of help. I had a boss who loved Hearts. It was hilarious. He was the CIO of our company, and if he was playing Hearts, it meant stay away from him because he was stressed, and he used it to de-stress. So you can download these games for free. Third-party antivirus will be uninstalled and then reinstalled with the latest version. that has disaster written all over it. That's the thing that actually concerns me. I don't know how well this is going to work. Almost everybody uses third-party antivirus. Should the license have expired, you know, a lot of times individuals will let their license expire or be out of date. It will be uninstalled, and Windows Defender will be made the current antivirus. Again, disaster. Now, part of me understands what they're trying to do here. The majority of the time when I run into people with lots of viruses, it's because they've allowed their antivirus to expire and they haven't updated it. This is Microsoft trying to run that off with a pass. To be honest, this isn't the first time Microsoft has tried this. They tried this back in 2013, or they said they were going to do it and then they backed off. USB floppy drives. I know there's some of you out there. You'll need to download a new driver for it. And then here's the thing that we'll have to wait and see. Microsoft also says that it may erase some applications that came from your OEM, which is really technical jargon saying programs that came with your computer when you first got it. Now, a lot of times, I think a lot of that is junk, and a lot of times it's actually from the manufacturer itself. But there are utilities in there, and sometimes users use these utilities, and to have Microsoft uninstall that for them will set a bad taste in their mouth. Let's see. What should I do? Back up! Always back up. If you're relying on third-party software that is proprietary, I most certainly would hold off. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I'm going to bring you up. You use proprietary software from your lighting fixture called Oasis. Not many companies would use that. So a company like that, I would definitely want to make sure it's going to work. If your company, or you know of a company using something for their business that isn't mainstream, you need to check with that manufacturer to see if it's going to support Windows 10. The last thing you want to do is go through the upgrade and then find out that, oh no, the software won't work with it. Now, Microsoft has put in place an option to roll back to the previous operating system. You can go back, but it may need to be reinstalled, that software, the software that I'm talking about that could be causing a lot of issues. Now, if you're mainly a computer user that uses mainstream software, you know, you use the internet, maybe iTunes. I'm not worried about Adobe. I'm not worried about QuickBooks. I think those are going to be able to follow through fine. They're large companies. They can invest in the development of Windows 10. So if that's all you're using your computer for, you may be a big user of that, but if that's all you're using Windows for, I'm not quite as worried about that at all. Now we're going to talk about the features. This is exciting. Just real quick, big start button is truly back. That was a big complaint of Windows 8 was that the start button was gone. Now it's back. It's a real start button. They moved those tiles and put them in the start menu itself. Full screen mode is gone. That was something I hated about Windows 8. If you used a Windows 8 app, if you used one of those tiles, it would take you into this full screen mode and you couldn't see the rest of your windows, which is hilarious because that's what Windows is named for. There were ways to work around it, but it was confusing and your average user didn't understand it. Now you can still use the Windows 8 programs, but they're actually a window in Windows. It's just novel the way they decided to go back to that. There's a notification center. That's where everything's going now. We've gotten used to that with phones. Mac's been doing that, so they'll have a notification center. Cortana, does anyone know what that is? Cortana is a digital assistant. It's like Siri for the computer. Windows Mobile has had it for years, and actually it gets rated better than both Siri and Google. It's just that no one has a Windows Mobile phone. This is just going to be the search option. I'm not talking about searching the internet necessarily. If you're going to Google, that'll still be there. This is actually that little search box that appears in Windows. It'll now be taken over by Cortana.
Is it voice activated?
It can be. And then other new features. Virtual desktops, that is not a new feature at all. That's been around for years and years, but it will be native to Microsoft. There'll be an Xbox app for those of us that play games. Woo! Revamped mail and calendar apps. If anyone used the Windows 8 mail and calendar apps, they kind of suck. This is a better version of them. And something called Continuum, which basically before Windows 8 worked the same whether it was a tablet or it was a Windows PC or just a regular computer. Continuum is supposed to be able to kind of change some of the options because it detects if you switch to tablet mode or if you switch to a regular computer mode. And so the question is, should I upgrade? How many of you have used Windows 8? How many of you like Windows 8? I'll wrap up real quick. How many of you like Windows 8? A lot of people hate it. I don't know how many times people come to me and say they absolutely loathe Windows 8. Maybe Windows 10 then is a good option. If you hate Windows 8, Windows 10 does fix some of the issues with it, but if you're really reluctant to change, then maybe it's better to stick with the devil you know. If these features that I mentioned fill you with a sense of dread and gloom, then put off as long as possible. But no matter what, I still say wait a month or so, at least, to see how things go. And as I said before, back up, back up.